person? Because first of all, we want to apologize for waking you up so early in the morning.
Actually, I am a morning person.
Okay.
The rising for me is an exquisite time, you know, as an artist, artivist. Thank you for that. That was a whole lot for first thing in the morning. But we'll unpack it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
For most creators, most artists, you'll find that 4 a.m. is the time that they receive all the inspiration. Writers, I'm a painter, I do sculpture, I'm a poet. So when I wake up, often, something I went to bed, sweet slumber as I call it, thinking about my meditation as I wake up, that's when the words start to flow. So yes, I'm a morning person for sure.
Tell me a little bit about artivist. What does that mean? Let's break that down a bit.
So, arts. DJ Sbu, what does art mean to you?
Art is an expression of, it's a creative expression of, let me put it this way. I think it's a means of,
It's deep, you see?
It's
deep.
very deep, but it's how people express themselves based on whatever art they participate in. Or what did I say?
Yes.
So art takes many forms. Art takes many
Because
forms.
music is art, right? Sculpturing is art, right? Clothing designers are artists, right?
Exactly.
Dancers are artists, right? Actors and actresses are artists, right?
We believe in social sculpture, the domain within which I reside, dwell, and blossom. That every human being is an artist. Whether you take up a paintbrush, whether you're a sculptor, it's not about what we understand as art, as we just described. That's one aspect of it. But we believe every human being has the capacity to shift. Because when you listen to music, what happens? I came in, you were all welcoming me, it was like a song, it just made me dance.
Yes.
I heard drums, I wanted to move, you know, and I'm even thinking, it'd be great to have some drums in here just to welcome everybody and just get the spirits moving. You know? So that capacity, that thing that you have within you to move, that makes you vibrate, that gives you goose flesh, it happens to us all. Whether we identify as an artist or not, we truly believe that we all have the capacity to shift. Because when you hear that music that just wakes you up in the morning, you're like, yeah, today's going to be a good day. Yes? That music has shifted something within you. Everybody can do it. So an artivist, then, is where you blend art and activism. And that's what I'm about. I use my art to awaken souls, to ignite souls.
And what type of art is that? So poetry, number one?
Poetry. So yes, I have my fine art practice, poetry. I'm also a healer. So I do body work, massage, it's an energy healing. You use your intuition and, you know, it's a very deep, soulful practice. So that's also a kind of art practice. I call it the healing arts. And I'm also a social sculptress.
When did you discover your purpose? You know, I was listening. Every morning I listen to these inspirational speakers, pastors, etc., just to get myself, you know, ready for the day. My first 20-30 minutes of the day before I get out of bed, you know. I go on social media, I go to YouTube while I go communicate with my followers. I also listen for some spiritual upliftment. And the late pastor, Dr. Miles Monroe, he talks about purpose. And, you know, purpose is what you were brought here on earth to do.
Right.
As soon as you discover it and you stick in that path and not compete with anyone, and you want to fulfill that task of what your purpose is on earth, and then you can be successful. And then once that journey is done, then you're out of earth. You pass on. But that's what we are here on earth to do. That's what he says.
Speak.
When did you discover that? Because when we're young, we try to fit in. We don't know who we are. We're still discovering ourselves. We had other people in the process. We had our parents, etc.
I believe I had the deep privilege of always knowing that I'm an artist. Somehow I was wired differently. I remember my older brother saying once, we were in the Caribbean, and he just mentioned, he said, "You're always going left when everybody else is going right." And it took me a while to recognize that, you know, as the person I am, I'm wired and I always see things that are slightly different, you know. Where other people are seeing straight lines, I'm seeing curves, or I'm seeing colors, etc., etc. I describe this as a privilege because I've always been very passionate. I've always been a writer as long as I've known myself. It's very recently, when I say, you know, last maybe 5 and a bit more years that I will share my poetry, but I've always written poetry. And it has taken, I believe, deep meditation and inspiration, guidance from people like the ones that you just described. You know, I also listen to various spiritual teachers that help us understand that when you're able to recognize your gifts. So I would say at least 20 years ago, I came across Deepak Chopra, and he has a book called The Spiritual. He has a book called The Spiritual Laws of Success. And the last one he describes as Dharma. This is where your gifts are linked to your passion and you live that out on a daily basis. When I read that and I understood that, I meditated with that book, I would say for a good 2 years at least. And I go back to it from time to time. There was a time when I would gift everyone that book, tiny little book, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.